Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are in the Exiled Lands, just a bit north of the sinkhole, building the Grand Museum. All of the mods used are in the pinned comment below, so without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, of course, this is indeed a speed build. As usual, I'll be going through my thoughts and ideas behind the build, any issues with the construction, my theory with decoration, and of course we'll finally walk through the finished build in the furnishing phase. To start off, my idea behind this build was quite simple. I wanted to build a large museum to showcase all of the interesting cultures within Conan, and this platform in the desert provided a great place to do just that. Now, I opted for a material palette of black ice, stormglass, Aquilonian and Argossean, which should create a really nice tonal contrast within the build. Trying to decide which material to present this build in was a tough choice, as I wanted to go with a material that would be neutral to all of the different cultures and races shown within the museum. I did try arena and stone initially, but it was just a bit too bland and dark for what should be such a grand structure. Turanian was also too dark, therefore Aquilonian and Argossean provided the best option. I added in the black ice and the stormglass just to counteract that and add some more contrast. Now, there will be showcase rooms for the Argossean and Aquilonian cultures within the museum, but I think this is probably the best material option for a build like this. For this build, I tried a different approach to my usual method. Now, usually when I'm working on a video, I'll build it, decorate it, record it, etc. all together, before then moving on to the next build. However, I've been working on this build slowly for a while, and that was to try to keep my mind fresh when it came to ideas for architecture and decoration, and I think it was quite a good approach for a build like this. The layout and architecture of the build itself is quite nice, I think. The museum has decent flow inside, and the rooms have a good amount of space to showcase the cultural items, though I think the exterior architecture could have been improved in some places. The front of the build is definitely the most attractive section, but I think at times it's let down a little by the roofs and the quite straight nature of some of the side walls. In retrospect, this could be improved by maybe planning out the build to be a little larger, leaving more room for recreational areas on the ground floor, such as a cafe or a research room for archaeologists, and then receding that area of the build in on the first floor to create a bit more shape and structure. However, I think that overall this build looks nice enough on the exterior, but I think the interior is definitely the strongest part. My main issue with the building process was, of course, stability. It pretty much is always an issue with big builds, especially if they have large open rooms, like the main hall of the museum. I managed to rectify that issue though, by running pillars against the walls of the side rooms in the main hall, and hiding pillars carefully within certain sections of the build to support the floors above, and thusly the roof. The pillars in the main hall did impede my plans very slightly, as I wanted to create a nice miniature diorama of a Stygian village within the central hall. I did manage to do that, I just had to scale it down to avoid having to squeeze past the pillars, as I wanted the pathways through the museum to be quite wide, to allow for maybe 2 or 3 people to walk them comfortably. However, I do think that having the pillars at the sides of the main hall actually looks quite nice, so there is an upside to supporting the upper floors and roof this way. Decoration wise, this build was surprising. If you followed me for any length of time, you'll know that decoration is not my strong suit at all. I am way more of a builder than a decorator. However, seeing as the decoration ideas for each room in this build were so clear due to the purpose of the museum, I was pleasantly surprised with how easy it was. I chose ahead of time what each room would be used for, with the majority being for cultural showcasing, and I marked out which culture would go into which room. There were a few spare rooms, which I turned into a gift shop, a study and a library. Throughout the common areas of the build, I relied on the tried and true method of making things comfortable for the prospective visitors. I tried to light everything nicely, not too bright but comfortable and warm, and I also placed a lot of benches around the build and included flowers as well, to breathe a bit more life into the museum. One of the major things that really helped with the decoration in this build is the item placement system included in the Pippi mod. This system has been included with Pippi for a little while now, I'm not sure exactly how long, maybe a few months, although this is the first build that I've used it in extensively. It's sort of a improved version of Funcom's placement system. It allows you to replace and move placeables without placing them back into your inventory, and also allow for much more precise movements, including tilting, turning, and even item scaling. That's how I managed to create small dioramas within the main hall and the Pictish culture room, along with avoiding obvious item clipping with so many other displays in various other rooms. So I think that's about all I have to say for the construction phase of this build. As always, I'll be back for the furnishing phase, where we'll walk through the finished build and see what the museum has on display. If you'd like to skip ahead, I've marked the chapter where that phase starts on the play bar below, so feel free to join me there if you'd like. With that being said, enjoy the rest of the construction and I will see you in the furnishing phase. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to of course furnish. Approaching the build, I've used the lowered courtyard area as a nice pathway into the build, and I've included statues, lamps and a small fountain to make the entrance feel a bit more grand. Entering the museum, you first reach the ticketing hall. This is where visitors can buy single or group tickets to access the museum. The museum itself is getting ready to open, so only staff are in the building at the moment. Passing the ticketing hall, we reach the main hall. This is very much the heart of the museum, and you can see almost every exhibit from here, along with a statue and a small Stygian diorama in this hall. On the front side of the main hall, there is a small study on the left hand side for researchers, both amateur and professional, to collate notes on the exhibits or just to learn more about the cultures within the museum. On the right side is an exhibit for the people of Kitai, which includes a showcase of their furnitures, statues, musical instruments and armours, and also some books that detail the long and rich history of this culture. In the middle of the hall is the Argossean exhibit. The Argossean room includes statues, armours, furniture and fountains, and showcases the aesthetic of the Argossean culture really nicely, leaving plenty of open room for visitors to look around and see everything on show. At the back of the hall is the Elven exhibit. Most of these items had to be taken or influenced by the Elven factions from Age of Calamitous, though I think it came out really nicely. The room showcases both dark and nature elves, and includes their armours, statues and furnitures, along with books explaining their culture in the centre of the room. The ground floor also has a small gift shop that sells trinkets, books, reproduction tapestries and small figurines. This gift shop is small and it can be accessed through the staff-only staircase that leads to the first floor. Heading upstairs we reach the first floor. I chose to include a few balconies on this level that look over the desert, along with a seating area next to the staircase, and of course the head curator looking over the railing down to the ground floor. Firstly, on this floor, the library. Similar to the study room, this is where curious visitors can come and browse the large variety of books that explains the various different cultures and races from the far stretches of the world. The next room is for the Pictish culture. This is quite a busy room compared to the rest and showcases the furniture, armours, houses and gods of the Pict, with various recovered and repaired statues of Ymir around the room. Just down the hall is the Aquilonian room. This room showcases their pottery, statues and furniture. It's definitely a smaller exhibition room, smaller than most, but presents its items in a classy and quite modest way. On the left side is the Stormhold exhibition, another faction from the Age of Calamitous. This is another small room and it includes the Stormhold royal armours, a statue of their founder, and a recovered and repaired version of their royal throne. Finally, there is a small space at the front of the first floor for unclassifiable, ancient or otherwise unknown statues that don't belong to any culture showcased within the museum. And there we have it, the Grand Museum in the Exiled Lands, just north of the sinkhole. Thanks for watching. I've been working on this build off and on for quite a little while now, and I'm quite pleased with it. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you like the channel and would like to see more content in the future, there are links in the description to my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, NordVPN discount, Host Havoc affiliate link and my Patreon, or of course you can simply just leave a like and subscribe. Any of those are greatly appreciated. If you do choose to become a patron, you'll get sneak peeks of future videos, special roles in our Coffee Cult Discord, full-size blueprint downloads, and of course, your name in every video. On that note, a thanks to our current patrons Sadialot, Randar, Connor, Blue Ivy, Velma, Torn, and Eagle Rose. If you're new here, I upload every Wednesday and Sunday, so I hope to see you then. As always, take care, and I'll see you soon.